Yes. We're discussing about process improvement associate, a certification program here at the RSI Global Certification Gara. So we are looking at how to become a certified or an associate in process improvement. Process improvement is all about is a subject which is all about the progresses, improvements we make in the businesses. These enhancements, the advancements we continue to achieve, and those positive boxes we keep taking in the businesses, in companies, or in our operations. And the same process improvements applies in all sectors, and it could be health, could be education, it could be hotel, railway, aviation, production, factory, marketing, or work performance. So process improvement is a subject which is diverse and cuts across all areas, and we embrace in all areas of operation. So it's a process improvement is actually, as a process improvement associate, we see the career and the demand for process improvement associate likely to increase in the period of 10 years by 40%. And many organizations have got these individuals. However, they serve in different capacities, but they need to know that they're process improvement associates and they serve that particular area or particular discipline. Many of these companies, we have process of business executive, business development experts, service improvement officers, customer retention officers, management consultants, and in some areas they serve as mentors and advisors. But all of these are process improvement associates. And some areas they are quality assurance teams, quality assurance officers, or quality officers. Many times are process improvement associates. So when you look at the purpose as to why the organization may have a process improvement aspects, or purpose for process improvement in an organization, is to enhance quality. You realize that every international organization, or these international organizations which you have in place, like the ISO, implementing ISO 9001, we have governments have got the Bureau of Standards. All these are geared towards having better quality or better performance, better products from the manufacturers and producers. So all these aspects are all about process improvement, and how do we improve the productivity, how do we improve products, how do we improve services. Process improvement associates can do all these aspects. So we have a duty as companies, as directors, as businesses, to improve on our methods, to improve on the strategy, how we do things, to improve on the transactions, to improve on our deals, we lay better plans. So process improvement is actually a tool which can help us achieve all that. So as a process improvement associate, you need to engage in that particular aspect, trying to look at the plans and methods of operation of work, so that you align to the better benchmark to other aspects of operations. So process improvement really is a tool which can help to inform strategy enhancement. It can promote good practices in organizations. It can also be able to discover or to identify challenges and come up with better solutions for those problems, or problem solve. We can use for better management practices. We can also use it to benchmark on quality, to benchmark on performance with other organizations, to enhance our quality standards. You can use a process improvement associate or process improvement knowledge to improve performance of the organization. So you look at the quality, the aspects of better services. As a process improvement associate, you have to consider all those aspects. Of course, there are steps which are taken in terms of doing the improvements, but most of these processes are analytical in nature. So as a process improvement associate, of course, you have to know that you are going to be doing some analytical roles and serving as an analyst for processes, analyzing processes and advancing change management in a particular company. So there are steps taken in process analytics before we come up with improvement, the analytics which are supposed to perform. And this takes also a step, and it starts with defining the goal. You need to define the goal. As a process improvement associate, define the goal as why you want to make the improvement in the company. Anyway, but the goal must be backed up with questions of the what goal, why this goal, who is involved in the goal, when should this be done, how can this be done, and how much change you need to make in this particular engagements as a process improvement associate. So you need to have those particular questions in mind. You ask those questions and list down questions. Also establish benchmarks or milestones or goals which you must be able to achieve by asking the how much. You must have those particular aspects in mind before you engage in saying the improvements. You have to do analysis by identifying the goal, defining the goal. After the goal has been defined, you have to develop tools and data collect the data. Of course, you know who should be involved and what goal, when, where, why, how much change you need to make. You're going to come up with questions which are in line with those questions, but most importantly, to fulfill the goal which you have established above. So develop tools or questions which you're going to use to come up with to ascertain information from the who people you have defined above. After that, you have to do the analysis of data. Data must be analyzed timely, and they were saying that you don't collect data 2 years and you're going to reflect on the 2 years data which for the decisions of today. So data must be timely so that the information is really relational with the situation at hand, because events change, time change. You may be collecting data about festive season and you want to see what's going to improve in the festive season, yet you are going to make your decisions maybe prior or after. So you collect data, you can collect data in wrong times, or you can analyze the data during wrong times. So that's why I say that data analysis is really very crucial. As a process improvement associate, you need to engage in aspects of timely analytics, timely data analysis. After data has been analyzed, you have to communicate results. Communicating results also takes a twist. The challenges in communicating these results to stakeholders, the who are going to implement, how much you need to come up with a strategy of communication. So communication, many times we look at sometimes the parties are hurt by our communication. Not everyone will welcome our communication. However much it is on point, however much it is serving the goal, sometimes the communication is really stressful and can hurt some other parties. Some level of communication can be a risk to some people's careers, some people's jobs. There are people who can be terminated. Sometimes people get so much hurt by what we communicate. So you need to come up with a strategy how to communicate your results, by who, when to communicate, and how to communicate. And we say it is always important to understand safety first. Your safety is important. If the information you're going to release is giving you risks, sometimes you have to think of how do you best communicate. There are sometimes we need to have to trust the help of the external experts. If you cannot do it alone, you can identify someone who can help you communicate the information. Or necessarily important, you can also think of try to identify really people whom you need to communicate to. We always say it is not necessary to open the director's bag at the gate. Why do you have to open the director's bag to the gatekeeper? So you're going to release information which is not to the gatekeeper and create issues in an organization. So those are linked to communication. How do you communicate? When do you communicate? So after communication has been put in place and you have established better communication strategies, and information has been received by the most appropriate individuals, you need to come up with improvement or change management processes, or improvement to change or change management processes, how to implement change in your organization. You have to come up with how do you implement change. But of course, based on whom do you communicate with information with, and based on the information you attain. If you realize that some stakeholders, there's some information which is strictly for the directors, and the implementation approach could be top down, then you have to only communicate to top executives and give them instructions how best you can improve the changes. Even if you are internal, but you can still liaise with the top executive and see how you can improve the changes in an organization as a process improvement associate. If you realize that the middle managers are so much important, you can really communicate with the middle managers and see how change can be implemented based on the identifications of the issues which you have made. As a process improvement associate, you need to know all that. Whom do you have to work with in change management? And we say change sometimes is really so hard to implement because it faces resilience or resistance. It is a resistance which sometimes affects the change management. People can resiliently resist the change which is supposed to take place. They can accept everything at the start, and down the road things turn around to be really hard to implement. So you need to find how best can you implement this. If you realize it is a top executive much important, you have to engage top executive in planning for the change management. If you realize it is the middle managers, you have to lay plans on how you're going to engage the middle managers. If it is low executive, you also find a way how to engage those low executive. So as a process improvement associate, you have a lot of work to do in terms of implementing change, because everything we are doing is all about improvements, and improvements come around change, and we are trying to work on change management. So we look at, if you look at in terms of the strategy you can adopt in change management, it could be of course top down, as I've said. If you realize that top executive is much important, you have to think of which kind of tools you need in terms of sourcing most level tools of work. You have to come up with scheduling, because after you've come up with the change management strategy, you come up with schedules, you schedule. You come up with risk management, milestone, performance strategies in place, put them in place. How are you going to overcome each and every aspects of risk management? Establish success measurable indicators. How are you going to really measure the changes you have made and the improvements? So conclusively, we say that process improvement is a practice every organization producing something either as a service or a product should engage in, and if every organization can have someone responsible for this, then performance improvement can be guaranteed. So every organization needs to benchmark on someone who can really engage and whom can really be sticked or can be deployed towards process improvement. Because if we fail to improve on the processes, then we cannot be a guarantee ourselves success and also continued development in everything we are doing. So we are saying that you can take your exam on this link below, the last link. You can input that link in Google. You can search, you can get it, which is https form.gl. You can see that last link. You can also contact us by our emails are there in case there is some information. Of course, after you pass your exams, 60% pass mark. you can claim for your certificate. We shall get a link, shall get a record of your performance once you do the exam. If you score 60, we shall contact you to have processes to receive your certificate by email, and the cost is just $10, which is 37,000 Ghana shillings as of current. Thank you so much. Continue to stay tuned. We're going to have many other programs, but as a process improvement associate, you need to engage in really doing things that are mainly focusing on quality improvement.